This is the mother of podcasts. We are thrilled to embark on this journey with you. This podcast is a safe space where we celebrate the beauty and chaos of motherhood, exploring the triumphs, tribulations, and taboo topics that come with it. From the little superstitions that you followed or questioned during your pregnancy to parenting gentle or not, and everything in between, we'll delve into the diverse experiences of women from all walks of life. Whether you're a mom or a mom to be, or simply a woman with a story to share, this podcast is for you. So grab a cup of coffee, put on your comfiest shoes, and let's dive into the messy, magnificent world of motherhood together. Birth is a mystery, a miracle, a journey like no other. Yet often the stories we hear are sanitized, sugar coated, or silenced. Birth Stories Unfiltered breaks this silence, presenting honest, unflinching accounts of pregnancy, childbirth, and new motherhood.
And to celebrate the triumph of birth and motherhood, we have our friend Shruti joining us on Mother of Podcast today. Hi,
Hi,
Shruti.
Shruti.
Hi, both of you. Hi, Soumya. Hi, Chandan. It's
I
great to be
just
here
want to
on Mother
take a
of
moment
Podcasts.
here. Shruti, I just want to take a moment here for to thank you for bearing with us and the children and just take like 1 minute to say that what kind of energy and planning has taken to get on the screen together to record this.
I think
So
only mothers can have so much of patience to be able to, do this.
yeah. All right. Shruti,
Yeah.
I know Shruti from school time, but Chandan and Shruti are newly introduced. So I know a lot of her, a part of her story, but still, I'd really like just take this like a very candid conversation, Shruti. And I know that you've gone through a lot. And when I say a lot, it is less. Okay. So now you have a 3 month old beautiful baby boy, and I know that it has taken a lot of pain. You've gone through a lot of pain and a lot of endurance to reach here. Tell us, how has it been? How are you feeling right now with that 3 month old baby in your hand? And take us through the journey.
So as you can see, the smile on my face tells a lot about what I'm feeling right now, with a miracle in my hand, holding it all day through, all night. So yes, the journey through to this day has been very, very difficult. uh, People who just write stories about how difficult it is to be a mother, how difficult it is to do this or that. But for each individual woman out there, I think this journey is absolutely unique and very different in its own way. It comes with its own challenges, because today we are all dealing with so many other kind of things like work, health, and so much more, right? Into today's women just want to be so perfect in every dimension that it really takes a lot of toll on us. So yeah, starting with the journey of pregnancy. So after having all the how should I phrase it, uh, leading my best of my days with my husband, we decided to take our relationship further. So when we decided on with that, and it was not a very pinpointed that okay, we will do it right away, but I did conceive, and it did not turn out very well in the first time. So I had around 8 weeks of fetus, and when I had my 11th week of scanning, then I found out that it has stopped breathing. So it was a huge shock for me, because of course, uh, getting something without wanting it, without asking for it, and then it just gets snatched away from you is a very, very difficult, you know. So that year has been very, very difficult for us. I'm
It's
sorry.
okay. It's okay.
Not just for me, but
Take
for my
your
husband
time.
as well.
Take your time.
Yeah, just give me a moment.
Take your time.
Yes. Of course, it took us around some time to get over with it. And it was my husband's birthday when we decided to go to Singapore, just to change our minds and just live like before this thing happened, like we were a happy couple. So we went on to Singapore, and after we came back from there, we again, started with the journey of becoming parents. And of course, since in Indian healthcare, once you get something like this called miscarriage, right? And mine was a missed miscarriage. I mean, the fetus did not come out on its own, but I had to get an abortion done. So, after that, in your own mind, you feel that, you are not enough. There is some fault in you that you were not able to do this in the first try, or you are not, there is something hormonal or physical whatsoever, it's your fault, right? But still we continued trying, and every time it was about to, it was my that time of the month where I had, I wish to check whether I have conceived or not. And my husband used to ask me that, is it positive? And with a very very heavy heart, I used to say no. So it happened twice, and then the third time I had finally conceived. So of course, I was very joyful, as so was my husband. But just again, after 8 weeks, I, started to have some complications again. So I started to bleed, and eventually it was very less. But around New Year's, actually, I had conceived in the end of the month of 2023. So around New Year, I had heavy bleeding. I mean, even doctors were not very positive that how is the fetus still okay. So they scanned me and they found that everything is fine with the baby. But my bleeding continued till 4 months of my pregnancy, and it was not light but a very
What
heavy
was
bleeding.
why were you bleeding?
According to doctors, my placenta was low lying, and there was a small, I should say, wound, which cannot be, I mean, it cannot be treated in any manner whatsoever. All I could do was bed rest, because as doctors told me that as placenta will grow, I mean, the fetus will grow, that particular wound which is there, it will heal on its own. Because if an old wound kind of a thing is scratched or something they do, it will eventually lead to even heavy bleeding. So I was on bed rest basically for 4 months. And then after that, each scan actually took our breath away, because I just used to stare at the face of the radiologist, that what's going on, is everything fine? And I only used to have one question for him or her, and that was, is he breathing, is she breathing? That's all. That's everything that I used to ask. And of course, after 4 months, and of course after the fifth month scan, uh we were a little relieved that okay, everything is fine. But that one thing that happened in the first pregnancy, that out of nowhere it stopped breathing. I always used to feel, is it breathing or not? Whenever I used to do some heavy work, or anything used to happen out of the ordinary in my day, I just had one concern: will it be still breathing? I just all those 37 weeks that I had him in my belly, all I prayed for was for him to be breathing and complete. May and nothing from my end I do to him or her that is lacking for him in his own life. So
पर
that was
ऐसा
the
ऐसा
only
होता थोड़े
concern.
है कि आप ही कुछ करते हो इससे
Exactly.
होता है ना?
सही बात है, लेकिन you blame yourself.
हाँ.
You do. So I think
I can only imagine. I can only. Oh, my son is standing up on the podcast. So, I can only imagine कि क्या what you went through, and I'm sure Chanda can also just relate, because not exactly relate, but just imagine,
It's
because
so Kabir says कि मैं भी बोलूं, मतलब it's very disheartening. It's very brave of you to share your story with us. And we are really sorry that you went through all of this, but now you have a miracle baby with you. We're happy for that and congratulations for that. But thank you so much for coming on our podcast and sharing your story with us. You're being really brave. That's all I can say.
thank you.
and there is this thing, Chanda, with Shruti, I have found out that I have felt, knowing her from so long, I have felt that I think she's one of the mentally strongest people I know. Okay. She went, if you're okay with this, I can cut this out
Yeah,
if
sure.
you're not
Sure,
comfortable,
sure.
but
No, it's
she
fine.
lost her father at a very early age. Then she lost a baby. These were two very big events that happened in her life. And मतलब जिस तरह से उसने इसको हैंडल किया, because I've been there for the second one, not exactly at that time, but afterwards. I was there throughout her the second time she conceived. But the way she handled it, and even postpartum, Shruti, I don't think that you went through a dip of a postpartum depression. Am I right?
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah.
What was it like? What was it? How did you handle it? How did you manage your emotions after birth? What was it like after Sriniket was born?
Yes, so I think the reason I did not went through a dip is because of the past experiences that you just mentioned. I learned to live in present early on. You have to, because कहते हैं ना जो हो गया, you don't have any power on it. You don't have any, you can't do anything about it. So I have decided on from very early on that what's the solution now? What can I do now after things have happened? What can I do now to, make my life better early on? So I think when Shriniket was born, I think there was nothing, I cannot remember my life before it. So it's every minute since these last 3 months have been so beautiful. And I don't know, even after all those headaches and body aches and whatnot, stitches and everything, whenever I used to just see his face, I used to forget everything, and just I've decided that this is what it is. That's all. I don't want anything else.
Circling back to your pregnancy, because
Yeah.
you just talked about pain and everything, I remember that you had a natural birth. Tell us
Yeah.
what was it like? Because both Chandan and I are both C-section moms. So,
Okay.
what was it like? How did you go through it? Were you prepared? Did you go through any birthing classes? What was the birth experience like?
So I was actually 36 weeks pregnant when my water broke in the middle of night at 2:30 a.m. around. And it's such a coincidence, I would say, that every time I used to bleed also, it was at around 2:32, bizarre timings always. And it was a Wednesday. 25th June had just passed on, and it was 2:30 a.m. in the night, and my water broke actually. And for the first timer, I didn't know. I have not taken any classes that what all things could happen when you are about to deliver. I did see a small YouTube video that what are all what all things you can consider when you are nearing that particular time. So there was a lot of water on my floor. So I woke my husband up that, I think something has happened. I have definitely not, I cannot do so much of urine. I have not definitely peed, but this is something that has happened. So he instantly called in my mother-in-law, and we straight in rushed to the hospital. I had not started contraction until 10 minutes of my water breaking. So after that, my contractions started, and they started on for an interval of around 5 minutes. uh no, 10 minutes around. Yeah, they were around, my contractions were 10 minutes long, and they were not so painful. And we straight on rushed to the hospital. The whole hospital was devoid of people. Everyone was sleeping. There was only one nurse, and it was raining heavily, by the way, that day. So we rushed to the hospital, and there was one nurse who actually, the normal delivery people are not given wheelchairs to walk through when you are contracting. I had to walk through every floor that took me to the room where I had been given my blood was taken for, I think, some blood sugar or something, other tests, and heartbeat was taken of the baby. And then I was given a room where I had to sit, so that my contractions are to the point where my face is white. That was the line that was said to me by the sister, by the nurse, that आपका चेहरा बदल जाएगा, आपका चेहरा सफेद पड़ जाएगा. So and around I had 18-hour long labor. So it was around 2:11 that I delivered Shriniketh. It was actually, this natural birth is a very, I would say it's a very beautiful process. At one point, I had almost given up that, please bus, operation karke nikal dijiye. I'm through with it. Because really that pain is very numbing to your entire body, and you have to push in that process also. So uh, soon after, they used to come in every now and then and check whether the baby has descended down towards the pelvis or not. And I was like so irritated that why isn't he coming down? What is the matter? And after quite a long time, they took me to the labor room, and there also the doctor said that मुझे बहुत जल्दी, you have called me too early. I would have given my husband some lunch. The head has not crown. There is no crowning yet. And after around 40 minutes in the labor room constantly, and they give you such uncomfortable seat to sit and handles to hold, that you have to push. And this natural birthing process itself is very anesthetic to your mind. So all I did was push without shouting. All that energy that was coming in through that pain, I just forwarded it towards the pushing through. And I remember I was also given some oxygen mask because I was going out of breath. And then soon after, that was, I think, called fundling, when they push the baby out when the crowning has already been there. They push the baby out, from your stomach. And then he arrived finally at around 2:11 to 12 p.m. And I don't think I am given any kind of anesthetic or epidural. And because that is so numbing, that pain is so numbing that you are almost half conscious. So she's just stitched me down there, and everything was good. She gave me water to drink because I was out of breath, and my throat was so, I should say, I mean, you just can scream so loud, but you cannot scream. You just have to put all that scream into the force to, push that baby out. So I think I don't even remember now how painful it was. But of course, the after stitches do, because they existed for me for a little more, because I delivered in a season which is little moist. So my stitches took a little time to, get dried up. And I even tore one of those two stitches down there. So I again had to go to the doctor, and she gave me, I said, you can stitch it up. She said, you won't let me touch there down then now. So don't ask me to stitch it up. Just take this medicine and it will heal up. So it got healed up eventually. The most drastic part is that even here we have an 11-day function when a new baby arrives. And I had so much pain down there. Like it was, I cannot even describe the pain. And I had to go shopping in that process, wear a sari, sit for puja, and all of that in such humid, drastic, unbearable weather with all those stitches. I mean, I can't even. I don't know how that period passed away. I mean, it's just I don't know how did it all happen.
I remember you being overwhelmed and bursting out
Yeah.
in tears on the night of that
Oh my
function.
God. That used to happen like a episodes I used to have.
Yeah.
I just there was like my chest used to get so heavy, and I just used to uh, that is not a cry, that is like, what is the word for it, like भै में करके बच्चा रोता है ना, just like that. I
Howling.
used to cry like, oh my God.
So I want to
And
add
I,
one thing. Like the nurse said na कि
yeah.
अभी इसका चेहरा सफेद होगा तो
सफेद हो
then
जाएगा.
we'll take her to the. I want to add this. So I had an emergency C-section. I was also
Oh.
I was admitted for an induced labor, and
Hmm.
I remember when my labor like pain started and everything. The doctor came in the morning. So they induced the labor. They gave me all the medicines and everything. And they gave
Hmm.
me a sleeping medicine also. So I slept through the night.
Yeah.
The next day, 1st February, when my son was born, so the doctor came in the morning. He's like, "अभी इसके चेहरे पे दर्द नहीं आया है. Let's wait. Let's wait for a
Yeah.
while." And I was like, तुम मुझे ले जाओ. But then eventually, like my son's heartbeat, it went down, like really down. So they had to take me for an
Oh.
emergency C-section. But ये वाली बातें तो सबको सुनने को मिलती है.
And I clearly remember because my contraction pain was not much that time. So I had some time to argument the nurse. So I asked that किसी का सफेद नहीं पड़ता हो तो आप कैसे जज करेंगी? She said ये भी आप सही कह रही हैं. So she told me that आपका मतलब आप 1 minute का contraction हो जाएगा and don't worry, we'll take you there. So
मुझे
yeah,
ऐसा
I
लगता
mean
है
natural
कि
birth,
they have become so practical and used to it कि उनको ऐसा लगता है कि
actually
भैया ये लोग तो नाटक ही कर रहे हैं.
सही बात है. मतलब it's very comical for them, but it's very very, you know, it's undescribable. That pain you go through cannot be described, I think. It's very painful.
And you've shared your birthing story with us. It, I mean, I can't even imagine. Like, I was prepared for a normal birth, a natural birth, but eventually things turned the other way around.
Yeah.
But now when I sit and think about it, कि भैया ऐसा होता तो मुझे लगता है कि मैं तो नहीं कर पाती. And I
Yeah.
really want to talk about your postpartum now. So
Yeah.
how
And
was
I
that?
also want to add actually that he was 3.5 kgs.
Healthy, happy
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah. And it was actually 1 week before the doctor could not have my last scan, which in which which she used to determine whether I'll be able to have a normal delivery or not. So it was, thankfully, I think it did not happen. Otherwise, she must have done a cesarean on me. But
And
yeah,
were you always
so
prepared for a natural birth?
yeah, I wanted to, because I have heard that, your body heals faster when you have a natural birth. And there are a lot of complications with, of course, the C-section, because due to the epidural, my mother still faces ache issues, which she used to not have when she had me. My brother was cesarean. So of course, I think I wanted a C-section. I sorry, I wanted a normal birth. But yeah, at the middle of when your contractions are about 3-4 minutes, I just wanted, please C-section kar dijiye. I don't want normal birth. It's very painful. And the period, for 18 hours, you just have to sit in that pain. वो आता है जाता है आता है जाता है वो it's very, you feel बहुत उलझन होने लगती है.
हाँ
And
मतलब you
it's
can't,
very,
I think you can't describe it in words, because I remember
actually,
getting a call. So I gave birth to my son in 2022, and it was a third or fourth wave of COVID, and there was nobody with me
hmm,
in the labor room. It was just me and the doctors.
yeah.
And I was getting a call like every hour or half an hour from my mother-in-law, from my mother, from my friends, and I was like, एक टाइम के बाद अब फोन मत करना,
मत करना.
अब डिलीवरी के बाद बात होगी. तो
Seriously, it's
um,
undescribable.
yeah, so let's.
श्रुति के साथ ये भी है कि भाई श्रुति मतलब अभी हेल्थ केयर के बारे में बात करी थी कि मतलब इलाहाबाद में वो गई सीट से अनकंफर्टेबल थे. आई
Mhm.
वांट टू टॉक अबाउट श्रुति द हॉरिबल स्टेट ऑफ हेल्थ केयर इन आवर सिटी. ओके.
Yeah,
आई मीन
yeah,
आई
yeah,
मीन
very
श्रुति
important.
का आई रिमेम्बर इसको अगर सो द डॉक्टर शी वाज गोइंग टू वो सिर्फ थर्सडे को देखती थी. ठीक है. तो अगर उसको मंडे से लेके
Yeah.
वेंसडे या थर्सडे के बाद कभी कोई प्रॉब्लम हो, जो कि इसके केस में बहुत ज्यादा थी, इसे ब्लीडिंग होने लगती थी, बहुत
Hmm.
सारे इश्यूज होते थे, तो जो तो she had literally had to either wait till next Thursday with that kind of, because she had a miscarriage before,
That
with that kind of
scare.
scare in
Mine,
her
yeah.
mind, or she had to go to another doctor and then tell the entire story and whatever. So what was that like, going through that mental trauma actually to wait for a doctor?
Yes, before I talk about this, I would really like to throw some light upon my first pregnancy actually.
Yeah.
When I had conceived, it was actually winter time here. All right. And I had little cold. So when I went to the doctor, it's a very reputed hospital here.
Hmm.
And when I went to the doctor there, she asked me to go in the same hospital. She asked me to, consult a physician there that for my cold. That particular physician gave me, I was to, of course, around, 6 weeks pregnant probably when I found out. So I must be 6-7 weeks pregnant when I was given antibiotic, anti-allergens, and whatnot. Around there were inhaler and everything, you know. And I think
Your audio, Shruti, your audio went.
antibiotics.
Your audio went. Can
अब
you
आ रहा है?
repeat the last line again?
अब आ रहा है?
Yeah.
Okay. So, even after that thing happened, some people told me that why did you have an antibiotic? It's very powerful. You should not have it. I said, I don't know. I had no clue. I was given it by a doctor who knew that I was pregnant. So how can I know that it's not to be taken? I just thought, because when you're sneezing or coughing, there is a lot of pressure on your abdomen. So I just thought that, I might not do something that harms the baby. So I also want to get this thing through that, in the very early weeks of your pregnancy, just don't take any kind of medicines or, experiment with things. Just just relax and take rest, because that time is very very crucial. So just hold on to it and just relax, everyone, and just don't take any medicine. Your body is capable enough to fight its own
बट
disease,
ये तो
just
यार
such
काफी, दिस इज
small
काफी
diseases.
कंसर्निंग. आई मीन जो मेरा थोड़ा
Actually,
बहुत फेथ बचा है.
and तुमको तो हॉस्पिटल में पता है, मतलब
हाँ मतलब
it's the
मेरा जो
best
थोड़ा
here
बहुत फेथ
in,
बचा हुआ है इलाहाबाद के हेल्थ
right.
केयर सिस्टम में, वो भी चला गया ये सुन करके कि दे गिव यू एंटीबायोटिक्स इन द
They
फर्स्ट
did, and that too 5.
3 months.
I think it was azithromycin. I think
Okay.
that was given in COVID. And anyway, then cut to my second pregnancy. So of course, when I used to have complications, That doctor used to sit every alternate day, and on Thursday she used to see the pregnant ladies. So of course, complications don't come announced. And then I had to consult one of the doctors that Soumya was seeing actually. Then she was a blessing at that time actually, because she had her own scanning, ultrasound. So I used to get instant approval that okay, everything is fine. Otherwise, when I you go to a gynecologist, she will write down that okay, go to that person, and that person also has a huge line which you cannot you and you might not even get the number same day. So that also happens in Allahabad. So I'm really very grateful to that doctor. When I had a lot of bleeding one day, I was crying and bawling all over. So Soumya told me that you should go and see the doctor.
Her
And I
name is
went
Dr.
there.
Shashwati Sen, by the way.
Yes, and she's from Mohawk Hospital. So I went there, and they have canteen down. I knew that in my mind I knew that okay, whatever was there is no more. Okay, I had accepted that. And when I was sitting there waiting for her, there is a canteen down there in Mohawk Hospital. And they had very bad smelling oil. I don't know why that smell. I never nauseated, but that day, that smell, oh my God. I could not bear it, and I ran out. And I was just saying to my husband that, why is it happening now when it's not there? I know it's not there because I felt lumps when it came out, with the blood. So, and the whole pot was full of blood. There was blood everywhere. So, it's, uh, I could not even have thought of that. Everything is fine inside. But when I went to her, she said, Acha, okay, this has happened. Okay, no problem. We'll treat you because it has happened twice now. So we will treat you. We'll see. We'll do some tests. She was telling me all that, and I was just crying, very upset. And then she took me to the ultrasound room and she scanned me. And she showed me that, see, your baby is all fine and he's jumping. It's jumping. I cannot even scan him properly. The size, I cannot even take out.
Audio,
Oh,
audio, audio.
Oh, अब आ
आ
रहा
गया,
है?
वापस आ गया.
I don't even know how to scan him. He's jumping so much. And I remember her holding my hand because I was of course crying. And I was crying so bad there. And then I went out and told my mother-in-law and husband that everything is fine. She's saying everything is fine, but she will treat it out. How? Why is this bleeding, and from where is this bleeding coming out? Because even if your placenta is bleeding, that means all the nutrition and everything that needs the baby to grow is not going there. So that was also a concern for me, that even though the baby is there fine right now, but if the placenta will keep bleeding on, no nutrition, or he will not get enough to grow properly. So of course, next hurdle that I had was that NT-NB scan, and I also had thyroid, by the way. So
it's post
I was really
pregnancy.
praying.
It
No,
is
it was, yeah, post pregnancy. Yes,
post pregnancy.
I was no, I did not. I still have. I think I have to get tests done because I'm still on thyroid medicine.
You
So
get a
I
lot of
was really, and
gifts,
I had
lot of medical gifts you get after you deliver a baby. I got my
seriously.
two teeth fractured out of the blue.
Soumya got his gallbladder removed.
So
So yeah, and so I was just praying through my first scan that everything is fine. I hope his nose gets that bridge that is required,
Yeah.
and because that is very important for the brain development, and thyroid does take a toll on that particular development. So through this bleeding, and also of course I was working by that time, and since I worked in an American edtech company, we had timings that was of course 12-hour shift. We had I used to work till 2 a.m. at night. So I never used to get that 8 hours sleep, quality sleep throughout my pregnancy. And the how should I phrase it? The coincidence is that I joined this in the November, and by the end of November, I knew that I was pregnant. So my company also, they both are going side by side for me. But yes, I would say my colleagues were very, very supportive whenever I asked for a leave, or because I had to take sessions, 90-minute sessions sitting. Uh, so whenever I could not do it, my colleagues were very, very supportive to take it on from wherever I left, and give me not continuous sessions to take on. And they even took 1 or 2 sessions for me. And whenever I used to call for some work, they used to ask me, "Aap theek ho na? Aap theek ho na?" I used to say, "Yeah, yeah, I'm fine. I'm just asking you to take this particular thing, and I'll take it from there on." So
Okay.
yeah, I think Sriniket is God sent, because everything aligned. I also had Soumya by that time to support me emotionally. So yeah, I think my
I
second
get it. Yeah.
pregnancy,
The importance
yeah,
of somebody who gets you at the time.
exactly.
And Chanda, it's so, I mean, I would like to like take a few minutes to conclude here in a way that we are like school friends and we hadn't been in touch for quite a while, and then we came back in touch when I got pregnant. And okay, and then right right after I moved to UK, Shruti got pregnant in a few months. And
Yeah.
going through the entire journey together, we would have
Together,
never
yeah.
thought that we'll go through the journey together, and it was fun. Like, so I think both of these guys are 2 months, 3 months apart, right?
Yeah, yeah,
four
yeah.
months 4 months apart. So it was
Me is
it was
June.
really
Yeah,
fun.
yeah, 4 months.
We used to talk about कि अभी ये मुझे ये हो रहा है फिर तुम्हें ये होगा and all that. So it was quite nice.
And I think
I
now with the
think
kids also, you are like just 4 months more
Yeah.
experienced than her, then you
yeah,
can give her
4
tips,
months makes quite a
which
difference. Huh?
don't work, by the way, because they are like completely different, all of them.
Yeah.
बट वो थोड़ा
So
हौसला हो जाता है कि मेरा बच्चा ऐसे कर रहा है, अच्छा मेरे वाले ने भी ऐसे किया
चलो
है
ठीक है,
तो
कोई नहीं, ये वाले ने भी ऐसे किया है, कोई बात नहीं. All right, this is just part one of the conversation. We'll continue this conversation with Shruti. See you in the next episode. Thank you, Shruti, for joining us for this part.
thank
Pleasure is
you.
all mine. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye.
Bye. Say bye. No, he's eating the mic.
Now enjoin our community of amazing mothers. Follow us on social media for more. Bye for now.